Hi, I am Dr. Shireen Khan. Welcome to the session on Introduction to Law. Today, we'll explore the meaning of law, the structure of Malaysia's legal system, and the classifications and sources of law. Law is a body of rules imposed and enforced by the state. It's interpreted by the judiciary and supported by sanctions. Understanding this framework is essential as we explore further. Malaysia's legal system includes both domestic and international law. Each plays a distinct role in shaping the country's legal landscape. Domestic law is divided into public and private, or civil law. Public law includes constitutional and administrative branches, while private law covers areas like contracts and torts. Public law governs the relationship between individuals and the state, including constitutional, administrative, and criminal law. Private law handles legal relationships between individuals. It offers a framework for resolving disputes in a civil manner. Some acts can be both criminal and civil wrongs. For instance, a drunk driver hitting a pedestrian can face criminal charges and also be sued in civil court for negligence. Malaysia's law comes from both written and unwritten sources. Written laws include the Federal Constitution and legislation. Unwritten sources include customs and Islamic law. The Federal Constitution is the supreme law. It outlines the government structure and protects individual rights. Any law passed must be consistent with the Federal Constitution, as stated under Article 4 of the Federal Constitution. Each of Malaysia's 13 states has its own constitution, guiding local governance. Generally, the state constitution touches on the state ruler, the state government, and the State Legislative Assembly (ET). Laws are enacted by Parliament at the federal level and legislative assemblies at the state level. Legislation is a very important source of law, and it is the primary source of law. Law enacted by Federal Parliament is called as an Act. Law enacted by State Legislative Assembly is called as an enactment, except the law enacted by Sarawak. State Legislative Assembly is called as ordinance. Subsidiary legislation provides detail and flexibility, allowing authorities to regulate specific matters. Subsidiary legislation is enacted by persons or bodies to whom the power is delegated. Such persons or bodies may include the YDPA, ministers and local government authorities. The Parliament enacts the main and basic law, leaving the detail and technical matters to be handled by subsidiary legislation due to time constraint and lack of technical knowledge. For example, various parking rules set out by municipal councils and income tax rules made by the tax department, etc. The subsidiary legislation cannot contravene the main act, parent act, or the constitution. Unwritten laws means the law which is not made at the Parliament or State Legislative Assembly. There are 4 types of unwritten law: English common law, judicial decisions, customs, and Islamic law form a significant part of the legal system. These are secondary sources of law in Malaysia. English Common Law and Equity, Section 3(1) of the Civil Law Act, 1956, provides that English common law and equity will be applicable subject to 2 restrictions. Firstly, there should not be any local law governing the particular issue. And secondly, that part of English law must be suitable to the local customs and circumstances of the people of Malaysia. Judicial decisions. The law can also be found in decisions of the courts of Malaysia. These decisions are made systematically, and it is regulated by doctrine called Doctrine of Binding Judicial Precedent. Vertical application of the doctrine means the decision of superior courts, such as federal court, bind the courts below it in the hierarchy. Horizontal application of the doctrine means superior court, such as Court of Appeal, bound by previous decision. Customs. It is the customs of the local inhabitants of Malaysia, mostly customs relating to marriage, divorce, and inheritance. In case of Sabah and Sarawak, the issues relating to customs can be settled by Penghulu's court or native court. Islamic law. Islamic law pertaining to personal law of Muslims and Islamic law pertaining to some criminal offences against Islam is a state matter. Islamic law is applicable only to Muslims, and it is administered by the Sharia court. The civil court has no jurisdiction over a matter within the jurisdiction of the Sharia court. The judiciary applies laws through a tiered court system, ensuring justice at various levels, from the federal court to subordinate courts. Each court has its own jurisdiction, handling different types and levels of disputes. Special tribunals, like the Industrial Court and Consumer Claims Tribunal, resolve specific disputes with focused expertise. Understanding Malaysia's legal foundation helps us navigate legal systems better and appreciate the role of law in maintaining justice and order.